Hey, Dee Dee?
Who's that?
I'm a friend of Celia Woods. You remember?
Celia Woods? No, I'm sorry.
Hey, I gotta make a stop and pick up some cigs for the wife, but if you're going towards Connecticut and R, I could give you a lift.
If you'd get me to a taxi, I'd really appreciate it.
Okay. Let me throw the camera in back here.
No, I just hate getting stuck without my car, especially with this ice pick freak running around.
Yeah, do you mind if I took that seatbelt? I got this thing about accident.
Ah! Ow, you're hurting me!
Just shut up.
Oh, my God.
Don't stand in the road, man!
You should bury him deeper, you know that? I'm not so stupid. I saw the photos you left in the darkroom of those dead girls they found. Only you took them before they were killed. So I followed you. If they catch you, you know how famous you're gonna be. Only it's gonna be me, not you. You understand? I mean, I'm gonna be you. I'm gonna confess. So don't you do nothing dumb, so they know you're still out here. And nothing, so they ever tie us together. Now, you tell me, how come I kept these shoes? And what did I kill him for?
Now, it was at this point that they burst into the room and found the deceased Mrs. Gordon lying on the floor.
Mrs. Gordon. Notify the desk, quick.
Okay. Freeze right there. You're doing terrific. Lady millionaire murdered in a locked hospital room. Alex Norton's client, the famous Dr. Feeling, accused of killing her to inherit $2 million. We got a regular box office hit on our hands. Alex?
The police determined that the victim's fatal heart attack was caused by inhaling certain toxic chemicals. George Gammas ran some tests upstairs in our own laboratory on strands of Mrs. Brandt's hair. George?
Can I help you?
Yes, I'm looking for a private investigator, Mr. John Kesey. His answering service said that I might find him here. What sort of club is this?
Oh, we have several hundred members. Lawyers, private investigators, reporters, mystery authors.
Oh.
They share the facilities, help each other when they can. I suppose you could call it a brotherhood of crime prevention.
Carbon monoxide, carbon tetrachloride, all contained in a conventional Freon propellant. The result? This can of adulterated hairspray was really a lethal murder weapon to a woman in her condition.
Now, my problem is, if my good doctor didn't sneak that can of hairspray out of the room before it was sealed, who did?
Alex, Dan Lawrence has a point here.
Yeah, observing the scene just as a reporter and not being familiar with the people involved, I noticed that the doctor turned his back to the nurse for about 4 seconds there. Why couldn't she have taken the missing can of hairspray and dropped it right into that pitcher of orange juice then?
Well, let's try it, Janet.
No, it's not going to work for me. The doctor claims that he turned around, he gave the nurse specific instructions about calling the police. There's no way he could have missed that. It's a good try, though.
Wait a minute, Janet. If not in the pitcher, what about stack of cups?
In there? How can I fit this in there?
How long?
4 seconds, perfect. Alex, what's the whole story on this nurse?
Well,
excuse me.
My staff hasn't been able to connect her with Mrs. Brandt, but we really hadn't gone after that.
All members, the FBI Precious Metals Unit is now demonstrating in workshop living. All those interested may join them in progress.
And John Kesey, Miss,
Swoboda. Angela Swoboda.
sit down, please. You from Philadelphia, Miss Swoboda? This is a Wanamaker label on your coat.
Oh.
Your dancer?
Well, have you seen me work?
That's the way you move. Your calves. Special muscles. Can't miss them.
Well, yeah, I'm in town here on tour with a modern. Look, I'm sitting here lying to you about being a stripper, and you're playing Sherlock Holmes numbers on my head, and really none of that has anything to do with my brother's problems.
You're upset. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not the right person to come to. Most of my work is for commercial clients. I don't take many personal cases anymore.
Yeah. Well, this is pretty personal. My own brother calling me up and saying that he wants to apologize to me before he turns himself into the police.
For what?
He says that he is the ice pick killer.
Dr. Grasso, call your office, please.
I don't believe that.
Dr. Grasso.
Say, Angela, in 12 years as a cop, I learned that anything is possible. I'm sorry this is happening in your life, but I suggest you get on the phone and call the police. In fact, I'll get you Lieutenant Doyle. We're old friends.
No, wait a minute. Now, Frank is just a very lonely man, and he is very desperate for any kind of recognition. But he is not the type to kill. Please, I need help.
Yeah?
Dan, this is Jack. About the ice pick killer. What are the cops asking reporters to keep out of the press? Some detail that only the killer would know.
He's a podophiliac. I think that's the right word. Saves his victim's shoes.
Wonderful.
Frank, it's Angela.
Come in. Just packing a few things, that's all. Don't want to get caught with no smokes down there. Lucy, what's he doing here?
Frank, he's my friend. I trust him. I need him, Frank.
I'm sorry. Whatever makes it easier for you. Did you tell him?
Yes.
She's a nice lady. You watch out for her. Somebody's gonna have to find a home for the goldfish, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, take my keys. You want my car? It's outside in there. I don't remember much about this killing thing, Angie. I guess it just happened. Please forgive me, please. Please forgive me. That's gonna be okay, huh? People, they're gonna pay attention to me now. That's something. What are you looking for?
Porno books. Dirty pictures, fantasies.
Oh, boy. And you got it all wrong. I never touched them. Not like that.
Why did you kill them, Frank?
They got this thing in their eyes. This power. It's young girls looking for a man. Picking, choosing. Like who they're gonna do this big favor for.
What power, Frank? Sex?
Yeah, they hook you with that. Then they squeeze everything out of you.
Frank, whoever did that to you?
When I was a kid, they used to tease me. Look, I don't understand it. I don't even remember killing most of them. It just came to me this morning. That's what I've been doing. These nights I can't remember. You don't believe me, do you? There's blood on that, human blood!
Whose blood, Frank? Yours?
You're not taking me seriously. And I have had enough of that.
What did you do with their clothing, Frank?
What are you talking about?
Did you bury them with all their clothes on?
Yes. Clothing, does that mean shoes? Not the shoes. I don't bury them. You have to have something so you don't forget you did it. I found these this morning. I started to remember this girl. Last night.
You killed somebody last night?
Yeah. I remember the digging and picking her up outside this office.
You've got more shoes?
I threw them away, I guess.
What do we do now?
Well, I can recommend a lawyer, Angela. Alex Norton. Anybody tries to railroad your brother out of any of his rights, Alex will get him back on the right track. But other than that, I don't do anything except drive you two directly to the police.
Yeah. There were airplanes taking off. Sure. I remember exactly where I buried the body. I'm trying to remember everything, Mr. Norton, but I can't. It's all in pieces. You get me to the hospital, won't you? No jail, huh? Angie says you're famous for that. So, we're both famous now, huh?
I'll do what I can, Mr. Sabota.
Did you know the girl is Byron Crane's daughter?
Yeah.
Who's that?
He's an ex-senator, now a lobbyist. Very heavy connections.
That's Gordon Dent, Dee Dee's fiancé.
I'm Lieutenant Doyle, Mr. Crane. One day too late we catch this guy. I can't tell you how bad it makes me feel.
Yes. That's my daughter.
We got him nailed good for this, Mr. Crane. Real good.
Thanks. You always had a delicate touch, Devine.
Hey, Jack, how you been? I hear you brought this guy in.
Would have walked in without me. That's where he says he parked?
No. He parked over there, quite close by. And he carried the body over there and buried it. They just found it. This is going to be a sure match-up with his tread, I guarantee you that.
What about these cigarette butts?
Oh, they're the same brand that he smokes. We'll run a saliva test on him.
Where'd you find them?
Oh, right here, all in one little spot.
You take care now.
Good to see you again.
Hey, Jack.
Oh, hi, Dan. I see they got you covering this, huh?
What are you doing here? I thought you were off this case. What's wrong? Did you find a piece that didn't fit?
A lot of hard-working cops getting a tough case off their backs, just sharing in their success, that's all.
Sure. Dead victim, bereaved father, pathetic killer, unhappy sister. That's a really happy ending. I thought you hated cases like this.
Specifically, I said I hated them because I didn't get enough time to solve them, which was most of the time. So I come out here and I look around and I remind myself I made the right decision. They won't let you do the job right. Quit before the rats eat you up.
My daughter would probably fight for you somehow if she was still here. She always put her heart into the dumbest things. She had so much heart. And you? Why?
Can I tell him?
I wouldn't say anything, Mr. Sabota. There hasn't been an arraignment, and there are lots of technical rights I have to explain to you.
I know your technicalities. Seen the way you hypnotize a jury, manipulate them. A man of your reputation defending him, why? Well, this is nothing but cheap front-page publicity.
I'm only interested in justice, no matter what page it's on, Senator, that's all.
What about you, Lawrence? How's your story going to read on this one? A sympathetic portrait of a misguided killer, a victim of society?
None of I don't think is right.
I promise you, I will not tolerate any soft ride for that murderer in some mental hospital somewhere. No, sir. Thank God you have him, Lieutenant.
Well, you could thank Mr. Kesey. He's a private investigator. Brought the killer in. He used to be a cop. We taught him everything. Right, Jack?
He's not the killer yet. He's not even charged, much less convicted.
That man is posing for pictures. He's killed 5 girls that we know of, and you're already talking like that? Get him out of here before I...
Hold it. Terrible day. I understand.
Sure you do. I'll see that the police send her body straight to the funeral home and not to the morgue.
Gordon, Dee Dee's gone now. But thank God you're still here. Now, I'm going to bring pressure on Norton, Kesey, and Lawrence. They're much too clever to let stay on this case. You just make sure that Kesey doesn't go checking everything right behind the cops. They find one minor constitutional violation these days, and the first thing you know, there's some gross miscarriage of justice.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go.
Alex, Swoboda take a lie detector test yet?
No, he won't. He says he's afraid of electricity. Could help his insanity plea. I'm going down to the booking. Now, listen, don't worry about Crane. You're out of this. I'll sweat him out somehow.
Some of the most interesting sights here at the National Institute of Science and Industries are the displays on kinetic energy, which is stored.
Hey, that's my desk! What are you doing? Get out of there! Are you crazy? No! You can't just go through my desk like that. That's my property!
I am looking for the key to the storage cabinet. If you'd stay on the job like you're supposed to, I wouldn't have to look for it.
I go out for a lousy newspaper and you make a federal case out of it.
They got him? Thank God that's over.
Why? You think he was going to waste time on you?
When I'm in this room with you, Mr. Carr, I do not have 1 minute of calmness. Even when you are working here and I am working there, you put something into the air that utterly exhausts me.
It's a good thing you make me laugh.
Miss Pamela Augustino, are you the victim of, or did you witness a man in a black Pinto automobile who attempted to abduct you at the point of an ice pick last April 10th?
Yes, sir.
Do you see in that lineup the person responsible for that attempt?
Well, I was very scared. It was darker than that.
Is that the approximate lighting, Miss Agostino?
Maybe it was one of them. I don't know. Oh. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's just that if I see just one person on the street who looks anything like that man, well, it's just very hard to look at a whole bunch of them.
Can we take her home, please? Maybe on another day.
Okay. Let the record indicate Miss Agostino could not make a positive identification. Lights out in there. Let's have Mr. Williams.
That girl, Agostino, she couldn't identify Frank. And he doesn't even drive that kind of a car. Now, is that going to help him? No.
Mr. Kenneth Williams, did you witness a man standing by a fence at approximately 9 o'clock 2 nights ago outside the Federal Trade Building?
Yes.
Can you identify him?
Yes, sir. Third man from the right, no doubt about it.
Mr. Swoboda, I'm not trying to get you off. But someone has gotten Judge Sullivan assigned to your sanity hearing, and I'm not going up against that man without being fully prepared for every one of his questions. Is it possible last April that you borrowed a black Pinto and used that in your attack on the Agostino girl?
If I did, I don't remember. I blank out. Don't you listen?
I'm listening.
That's why I don't remember where I bought those ice picks either.
Mr. Swoboda, you're going to have to help me find things you blank out over. Things we can prove. Did you ever own another car? A black one, maybe?
I don't think so. Why?
This key ring of yours. Now, what's this key for? Is that the key to your apartment?
Yeah, why?
And this one?
It's the garage.
And this one?
It's my car, the ignition. I lost the other one.
And this fourth key, what's this one? Doesn't this look like another ignition key to you?
You kidding? That's not a car key.
What is the fourth key? That last key.
What, that key? Oh, that's to an old footlocker I have. Trunk. It's a long time ago. Hey, I'm tired of this. I had enough for today. That's it.
Hey, Frank, wait a minute, buddy. They feeding you okay, Frank? Getting all the papers you want to read?
Yeah. This is a lot about me. Lots.
Angie's feeding the fish for you, watering the plants.
Yeah, she's a good sister. She's all I ever had.
Wouldn't want to have her stabbed by this ice pick killer, would you?
No. What are you talking about?
Are you the killer, Frank?
Yes! Let me out.
Okay, am I crazy, or did you just push me off a tightrope? Because that's what I'm doing with Swoboda. You know, I'm walking a tightrope. If he figures out that we're trying to prove he's innocent, he's going to have me thrown off this case. And there goes our inside track with Swoboda.
If he complains, blame me, all right? Now, look. We've been on candid microphone. There's another way to do a lie detector test without electricity.
What do you mean, voice? Yeah, maybe, but it's not legal evidence, not the way you did it. Look, Jack, this guy cannot go on fooling us. Not in the long run. If you're doing something I don't know about, let me in on it.
It's the rats, Alex. One's in my stomach. My old friends from the police department. Right now, they're gnawing away with a dozen doubts why Swoboda's not the killer. And there's this one big rat in particular. I call him Ralph. He gets up in my heart and doesn't like me to sleep. Ralph tells me that every D.D. Crane and Pam Agostino in this city thinks it's safe to be on the streets again. Ralph says, he's still out there. Ralph doesn't care about the long run. What he cares about is what could happen tonight. The next girl that gets killed because of something I didn't do. Ralph's gonna eat my heart right out of me.
Guess who smuggled a note out of jail to me? Your client. He wants me to do his life story. He's right. We can make a fortune.
Man has many things in his thoughts he's trying to hide. Marginal indications of nothing you could ever take into court. See these microtremors here?
Is he the killer, George?
No, I think he's lying.
How does he come by the murder weapon and the pair of shoes?
Jack, are those rats telling you anything specific?
There were 4 of Svoboda's cigarette butts on the ground where he parked his car. Now, I saw that man in his apartment. He never stopped moving. What is he doing? Killing the Crane girl and then standing in one spot long enough to smoke 4 cigarettes? Even at his pace, that's over 20 minutes. Unless he was waiting for something or watching.
How about the shoes? He says he keeps them to remember, and then he throws them all away except one pair.
And how come he says he won't take a lie detector test because he's afraid of electricity? When he bootlegs his electricity from the store in front with old wires that are bare in spots, all of which he rigged himself and lives with day in and day out. This man is not afraid of electricity. He's afraid his confession is going to be destroyed, that's all.
There. That's a lie. Right there where it flattens out like a pancake.
Well, what are we asking there?
What is the 4th key for, this last key? What, that key? Well, it's for an old footlocker I had, a trunk, a long time ago. That's a lie, 100%.
There's one clear-cut lie in this whole interview, and it's about that key.
Right.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it. I understand. Go on.
Nothing.
Could be a foreign make. Maybe a limited production. I'm going to analyze the alloy. Maybe we can trace it back that way.
See you upstairs later, George.
Senator George Winkler, Byron Crane's old Senate crony, just called the club's exec committee. He told Jim Dowd he's threatening to investigate the club's tax-exempt status and cut off cooperation from federal legal agencies. He also cited us specifically with talking to witnesses before the police using FBI leads passed to us in confidence.
We get off the Swoboda case or else, right? Yeah. We make one concession to that sort of blackmail.
No, the exec committee simply wants to review what we've got and see if they can help us.
Sure they do, Alex.
Tomorrow at 7.
27 hours to defend the proposition that Svoboda is innocent, and all we got is that key? Alex, they can throw me out of this club on my ear if they don't like what I'm doing, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop. You know that.
I know that.
Okay. So I'll need to talk to the Agostino girl, and maybe I could see the police reports, see how they followed up on her attack.
Right.
You okay?
Yeah, it's, Ralph, gnawing at my ulcer. He hates these deadlines.
You know 3 words that never pass through the mouth of a city editor?
What?
Take your time. I couldn't stand deadlines either. How come I'm not in Mexico City visiting my 3rd wife?
I don't know.
I'd love to visit my 3rd wife.
With the missing funds. Meanwhile, in the capital itself, the arbitrator assigned to the bus strike has granted permission to continue the walkout, countermanding the order to keep the buses running. Civic leaders protested the action, saying that they wish to obey the law, granting such authority to the arbitrator, although they hope to convince him.
You always fall asleep on the couch.
It's the perfect fit for 1.5 people. Hey, it's still early, Peter. Do you want to get a babysitter?
Gotta go to the dark room. Want to clean things up down there.
Tonight? Peter, I feel like a pregnant leper. Don't worry, kid, I'm just kidding. But I'm not. I mean, every day you work at the museum, and then 2 nights a week you work for yourself, and then on the weekends
Look,
you're always...
do you think I like taking those lousy pictures? We need money.
Peter, that's not what I need.
That's right. Huh? Right? That's right. Make me feel guilty. This baby's gonna cost another fortune. Who asked for that? Who asked for him?
Thanks a lot, Peter.
Well, I can't hold everything in.
Thanks, David.
Funeral services for Dee Dee Crane. The last victim of the confessed ice pick killer will be held tomorrow morning at St. Mary's, with burial service in the afternoon at Jefferson Cemetery. She'll be interred in the family plot alongside the grave of her mother, a victim of cancer less than 3 years ago. Senator Crane has requested that the services be attended by immediate family. In other news here in the Capitol, Congress today moved
ever turn that off?
It never turns me off.
Not like you!
Tides will be unusually high all along the seaboard, thanks to an infrequent alignment of moon,
Yes, let me know exactly where he goes when he leaves there. Right.
You know, Gordon, I don't understand this thing about Alex Norton. 15 years ago, fresh out of law school, I heard him argue his first antitrust suit. He whipped the government all hollow. It's a pity seeing him destroy himself like this. Miss Lawrence I never did like. Thinks his press pass is a badge. You remember how Dee Dee used to argue like her mother did? The opposition may please have a word. I hear Kesey was at the lineup today. Why? His friends in the force. Any weak link in the evidence, maybe they'll spill it all to him.
I've got 2 men keeping an eye on him. But, you know, he's not the type that you can just pay off.
Gordon, have you any idea what Senator Winkler has done for me today? And you can't maneuver one private investigator off this case? What's he up to now?
He's talking to the Agostino girl.
The one witness whose testimony helps your fiancé's killer. Gordon, do the job.
Yes, sir.
Pam, in your statement to the police, you said that it was about 9 at night when they called you over to the car. By name?
Yeah. He said, "Hey, Pam, come here." And I walked over. The door was already open. And he yanked me in.
But you got out. How?
He was trying to fasten the seatbelt over me, like to strap me in. But he didn't know how to do it, or it was stuck. And I screamed, and I kicked the door. The next thing I knew, I was on the street, and he was gone.
Anything unusual about that black Pinto? One of those squiggly rubber monsters hanging from the rearview mirror?
No.
Plastic dice?
No.
Tape deck?
No.
Pam, remember you told the police that you saw something black in the back of the car, remember?
Yeah, I think it was like a portable radio. It was square and black knobs and stuff, and it had a chrome trim.
Black with chrome trim. How about a camera?
Yeah, it could have been a camera. I don't know, I was thinking of radio.
If you saw this man again, right up close, think you might be able to identify him by his hands, maybe. Something like that.
I don't want to ever be that close again. If you want me to, I'll try again. As many times as I have to.
Hey, Sharon? Sharon! Hi!
Who is that?
Remember that? Shot at you.
Who is that?
Here, see?
Ow! Ow! Stop it! Stop it! Ow! Stop it!
Don't you make even one sound.
All right, listen, you guys. My senior year, I got clipped hard, right behind my right knee. I was a long ways from getting killed, but it kept me out for the whole season. And that's what I want for Kesey. Just a good clip. Understand? That's enough.
Listen, after you left last night, we ran a check on the ownership of all of the cars that the police investigated after the attack on the Agostino girl. Now, one of them belongs to a guy by the name of Philip Considine. He lists his profession as photographer. Now, I get this. Considine is not actually a photographer. He's a tour bus driver. His boss says that he takes pin-up pictures. You know, centerfold stuff. I guess he gets more models calling himself a photographer than a bus driver, right?
Okay, folks, don't take too long. Now we're running late. Just take a few photos. Watch your step, lady, please. Watch your step.
Here you go.
Oh.
Mr. Considine, right?
Right. That's me. Hey, why don't you try one of these? That's the best cigar you can buy. Unless you want to go a dime.
You sound like you do this tour in your sleep. Been at it long?
4 years, same route. Of course, there's not much action in the winter. But come spring, you get a lot of young stuff. High school kids and their teachers.
Make a few dates, I'll bet. I was hoping I could pick up a little action while I was in the city. These landscapes are not really what I'm into.
I'm into pinups myself, you know. Now, I'm not so good at it. But who cares?
Hey, I'm with you.
Yeah.
You work on your pictures at home?
You could rent a darkroom at the YMCA.
Well, that's where I'm staying.
Hey.
Well, maybe you could show me some of your shots.
Hey, I just keep a few negatives there. It's not safe. Last spring, somebody grabbed my keys and stole my car.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, when was that?
Back in April, I think. Why? Why are you asking?
Did you report it?
Yeah, why?
Just asking.
Let's go, folks. Hey, you. What are you? Some kind of private eye? Is somebody's husband checking on me?
Security cop on vacation? Big deal.
Sir, no smoking. Dump the stogie in the trash barrel over there.
Hold it! Hey, hold it!
What? No. I'll step in myself now. You just get out of the city. Yeah.
Someone for me, Gordon?
No, sir. Friends of mine expressing their sympathy, that's all.
I'm looking for photos. What the hell are you doing here?
Looking for a locker that fits that key.
Now, where did you get that?
The lab. Gummas traced it to some old lockers, and I found out they were bought surplus by the YMCA. Here it is. Have a look.
You get here following Swoboda's trail, and I get here investigating Considine. His car was used by Pam Agostino's attacker. What he says that the keys were stolen out of this room, that he didn't have it that night. I hate to say it, but I suppose that Swoboda could have stolen them, and that's why he doesn't want to be connected with the dark room and lies about the key.
Well, why couldn't Considine be the killer? He bots the attack, dumps the car, reports it as stolen to cover himself, in case she spotted the license number. And Swoboda, well, he could have followed or something.
Yeah, but I say that Considine didn't do it.
Why?
He takes sexy pictures, but he doesn't try to hide them.
Very possible.
So I'll show Pam his picture, but I'm not even keeping my fingers crossed.
Who's this guy, Peter Karp?
Nothing on his shelf at all. So we'll go talk to him. You want to try to round up some background for me?
Sure. I didn't do that.
I think somebody's trying to do Crane another favor. Move me off this case and into the hospital.
I see.
I don't think that you and Alex have anything to worry about, but be careful. What's on Swoboda's shelf?
Pictures of fish. This is the killer.
May I help you?
How do I get in to see Mr. Karp?
Right through that door, turn left.
Thanks. Mr. Karp?
Yo.
John Kesey, Private Investigations.
Private detective?
I'm just spot checking certain insurance policies. In this case, for the YMCA. Yeah. I see you use their dark room. You feel your personal property is safe there?
Sure, why not?
Why, Mr. Considine, on April 10th of last year, he reported his car stolen. The keys taken out of that dark room. You didn't happen to notice a black Pinto in the Y parking lot that night.
April 10th? How could I remember that?
Well, that was a Tuesday. They tell me you're signed up for the dark room on Tuesdays and Fridays, right?
Yeah, but going back to April... Well, I would have noticed it anyway. I wasn't using the parking lot in April. I didn't even have wheels in April.
Mr. Karp does not own a vehicle.
No, I own one. 71 Gremlin. But my wife drove it down to Aiken, Georgia in April.
Car out of the city in the month of April. You take pictures for a hobby, too?
Yeah. Weekends, I pick up a little extra change. So that's it? We're finished?
Sorry to trouble you.
It's all right.
Thanks again, Mr. Karp.
Bet.
You got personal visitors on our time?
No, what are you talking about?
Well, I wouldn't expect a total stranger to take your picture. Right?
I've taken the bus to Aiken. Goodbye. Fine.
Kesey here? There's nobody at his office.
I'm afraid he can't be disturbed for a couple of hours. Any message?
No, it's personal.
Judge Dowd, other members of the executive committee. Now, despite all the pressure coming down on you people, I know that there's not one of us in this club that doesn't want to be absolutely positive that the real killer is off the streets. Despite all the evidence against him, I'm not convinced that Swoboda is that man. Now, this is our confessed killer. Sonia, you wanted to say something about him.
As a psychologist, I'm immediately struck by two facts about Mr. Swoboda. Now, first, he said he kills his victims because he doesn't like the way women use sex to twist men around their fingers. And yet, he knows his sister is an enthusiast. A stripteaser, no less. And he still looks up to her and he respects her. Now, I find that a massive contradiction. Now, in my opinion, he's much more likely to make a fake confession than he is to go around secretly killing young girls. I agree with Mr. Kesey on that.
Now, I'd like to begin summarizing the situation we currently face by going back to last April, when this girl, Pamela Agostino, was attacked by a man in a black Pinto who threatened her with an ice pick. He failed in his attempt to strap her down with a seatbelt, and she escaped.
The night was dark, and he was wearing a watch cap.
In the police lineup, she failed to identify Swoboda as her attacker. Now, Swoboda, you should know, drives a '63 Falcon. I succeeded in tracing the car that probably was used in the attack. It belongs to this man, Philip Considine. He's a tour bus driver. He also takes pinup pictures of his girlfriends. He uses the darkroom at the YMCA to develop his pictures.
This, Considine doesn't look at all like Swoboda. Have you shown this photo to Miss Agostino?
Yes, and she's reasonably sure that he was not the man who attacked her. And this jives with the fact that Considine reported his car stolen that same night before the attack, his keys taken from the darkroom at the YMCA. Now, that brings us to the rather mysterious way that we link Swoboda to that same darkroom.
I took the key that Swoboda wouldn't tell us about to see if it fit the lockers in the darkroom at the YMCA.
I went to that same locker because Considine used it. Dan went there because Swoboda used it. Two entirely different lines of investigation converged on that one locker. Now, why was it so important to Swoboda that we not know about that locker?
But you might find out that it was he that stole Considine's car that night.
I don't think so, Dr. Hobson.
Swoboda wants to confess. Why hide that?
Jim, Swoboda says he blanks out. Now, he's a psychopath. I don't expect a logical answer for that kind of question, and neither will a jury. We just can't rule him out so easily.
All right, now, wait a minute. What about this? The coroner's report shows that all of the victims had recently inflicted bruise marks 2 inches wide on their upper forearms. Now, strapping them in with the seatbelts could be part of the killer's M.O.
But there are no seatbelts in Swoboda's car. One more reason to question whether he's really the killer.
But there's a third man who also shares that locker with Swoboda and Considine. A Mr. Peter Abbott Karp. Graduated from high school in Trenton, New Jersey, with a low B average.
Gremlin, which has seatbelts, by the way, was not in the city in the month of April, which means that he would have had a reason for stealing Considine's car if he'd planned to attack Pam Agostino. Unfortunately, when I showed his picture to Pam, she couldn't do any better identifying him than Swoboda. They're both just possibles.
Well, I think you're spinning your wheels. Anybody could have wandered into the Y and stolen the key for the Pinto from the dock room. Now, if you want us to consider some far-out theory that Sloboda followed the killer, saw him commit the murders, and then made some pact with him to do the confessions, I think you're still left with some 2 million suspects. Now, let's forget Considine for the moment, and Karf. Let's take another look at the victims themselves.
Alex, where'd you get these pictures?
From the police.
Now, where did they get them?
When the girls were first reported missing, the police asked their parents for the most recent pictures they had of them. Why?
Does it strike anybody as odd that 2 of them are holding wine glasses in their hands? They're all dressed to the teeth?
They've got hollow stems. They're not just wine glasses. They're champagne glasses.
Okay, what have we got?
Shortly before their deaths, some of the victims were photographed at formal gatherings.
Go down the corner. Pull the firebox. Thank you.
Oh my God, it's you!
That's right. Face to face, that's what I was afraid you'd say.
Anybody have any idea what that white stuff in Pam Agostino's hair is?
What about confetti?
Hey, wait a minute. What about rice? Champagne, formal clothes, rice, weddings. Karf takes pictures at weddings on his weekends. The bride and groom, they order shots to give to their guests. Pictures that Karf took that could tie him in with every single victim.
Okay, so somehow Svoboda catches on that Karp is the killer. He follows him. Something like that. It's got to work like that. I'm going to call Mrs. Agostino and find out if Pam was invited to a wedding sometime before her attack.
Call Lieutenant Doyle.
Right, where you going?
Karf's. When?
About 15 minutes ago. Somebody started a fire and Pam disappeared in the confusion.
No.
I saw that, Kesey, breaking and entering.
Get out of here!
Please listen to me. You've got to stop.
Dent, this man killed your fiancée, not Swoboda.
What are you talking about?
You and Crane are so scared of a miscarriage of justice, you're making it happen. Lousy bunch of souvenirs.
My God. Where is he?
Emily Reading, age 87, interment tomorrow morning at Jefferson Cemetery. Sure. Where else do you hide a body where it never gets dug up?
Come on. Come on. Now, you just walk ahead of me. Quiet. There's a place for you here somewhere. I know it. Come on.
No, no. Ouch!
I'm not carrying you. Get on your feet. Come on. This is good enough.
Pam, stay right here.
What happened?
Looks like he found the grave he was looking for. I'll take her home. Feeling better?
Yeah.
Me too. I think I just got rid of the rats.
Do you trust your battery? How did Burger King get exclusive backstreet?